Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. And on today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make a simple, my way of making curry chicken. It's easy and simple. It's not that hard. And even with the chicken, like a lot of people use, they'll cut these in half, but I just use the regular drumsticks because it's easier to clean. So over here is the clean chicken, guys. And what I usually use is, some carrots and some onions. Some people use potatoes and other things in their curry chicken, but it's basically what I use. And even with that, with the seasoning, use a little bit of complete seasoning, not a whole lot. It's the curry powder. Some people use two different type of curry powder. I just use this one, even though it's not as spicy, but I also use a little bit of black pepper that gives it a little bit spiciness to it. Just a little bit of adobo seasoning, just a little bit. And I use, the chicken flavor, the Goya chicken flavor, a little bit of this as well. So what I usually do is, I usually use a teaspoon and put a teaspoon on the thing, but I'll just, it all depends on how much seasoning you want to put on your chicken. Me personally, I don't like too much seasoning on mine, so that's what I usually put, like a little bit of, not a little bit, enough curry powder on the chicken so they can give it the curry taste. So I'm gonna put the curry powder on there. It just depends on how much curry you want, how much curry powder you want on your chicken. That should be enough for me. All right, I'll put a little bit of black pepper on mine. Not a whole lot, guys, just a little bit. Just a little bit of black pepper. Curry chicken is one of my favorite. I'm gonna use a little bit of adobo, just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit, because if you put too much, you don't want it to be salty. So just a little bit of adobo seasoning. Let's close that. Let's put a little bit of complete seasoning, not too much. And the good thing about complete seasoning, that it has almost everything in it. So it gives it a nice little taste. I don't like too much complete seasoning on my meat. And then last but not least, I'll use a little bit of the chicken flavor. It's one of my favorite, but you don't want to put too much. Put a little bit of that as well. Yeah, love curry chicken. Just a little bit, guys. I think that should be enough. All right, we're gonna rub it in. We're gonna make sure that the chicken is covered with the seasoning. And it's very easy to cook. That's one thing about chicken. Chicken is very, very easy to cook. It's not something that takes forever. So that's another thing that I like about it. Even though the smaller ones are easier to cook. I mean, the drumsticks is not hard to cook. It just takes a little bit longer, but it's still chicken. All right, let's add the onions. I like the onions because the onion gives it a nice little flavor. That's why I love cooking with onions. And the aroma, it smells so good, guys. And then also, let's add some carrots. You can add, we're just gonna leave them all. The carrot gives it a nice taste as well. All right, I think I'm gonna put a little bit more curry powder. Just a little bit more. All right, I think that should be enough. All right, so once I'm done with that, what I usually do is, I usually leave it out for about 10 to 15 minutes and let it marinate a little bit. So that's what I usually do before it goes in the pot. So that's just the basic steps of, you know, preparing the chicken before you start cooking it. All right, guys, so the next step is it's when it's going in the pot. All right, guys, so it's been cooking for 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna turn them around. Turn the chicken around. Let the other side cook for 5 minutes before I add the water to it. And then let it fully cook. See what I mean? Just gives it a little, like a little golden to it before you actually let it fully cook. It smells so good. Alright, like I was saying, before you add the water, or once you add the water, you can taste it to see if it has enough curry, to see if you have enough seasoning that you had put before you put it in the pot. That's another thing that you can do. So I might, you know, I'm gonna do that once. Let this cook for 5 more minutes. Once it's done, I'll be back and show y'all the next step. You already have some oil in a pan. You don't want to put too much oil, just enough. But I'm using vegetable oil. You can use peanut oil. It doesn't really matter. But you want, what I usually do is I usually put mine on medium heat, but you can put it on high a little bit so it can, you know, get hot quicker. But I usually leave mine on medium. And that's the chicken right here. I had let it marinate for like 15 minutes, as you can see, with the onions and the potato. So once this gets hot enough, I'm gonna put the chicken in there and let it start cooking. So me, when I cook my curry chicken, like, I'll put it in there. I let the chicken get a little bit golden brown first before I add any water. So it's getting hot. Let me put the stove on high so the oil can get hot enough. And once it's hot enough, you put it back on medium. All right. But it's so easy. Curry chicken is like one of the easiest things to cook, guys. It's not hard at all. All right, so the oil is getting hot. Let's put the stove back on medium. What you're gonna do is you're gonna add the chicken. Add the chicken to the pot. I don't put no water yet. First I add the chicken to the pot. I let it cook for like 5 minutes. One thing you know about chicken is that it'll make its own water, its own gravy. So I'm gonna just add the rest of these things to the pot. It smells so good, guys. I wish y'all can smell this, but it smells so delicious. All right. So just gonna let it cook for a little bit. I'm gonna add a little water to the bowl and then pour it in there. And just a little bit of water. Like I said, I'm not gonna add too much water yet because I want the chicken to make its own gravy. A little bit of water. And I'm not covering it yet. I'm gonna let the top open. I'm gonna leave it just like that. And let it cook let it simmer for like 5 minutes before I add more water to it. And then cover it up, put the lid on the top, and then cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes. Like 30 to 40 minutes. So So I'm gonna just leave it in there for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, I'm gonna flip them around, cook the other side for 5 minutes. Then afterwards, I'm gonna add some water to it and let it cook. And another thing too is that once you add the water, you can taste to see how you want it, to see if it has enough curry, if you have to add more seasoning. So it depends on what you want, guys. All right, guys. So it's been cooking for 5 minutes. I cooked both ends, both sides for 5 minutes. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the water to the pot. What I usually do is I usually boil some hot water and add it in there, or you can take some warm water and just add it to it. So you're gonna pour in some water. I don't like too much water on my cook. Just enough, not a whole lot. I think that should be enough water. I think that should be enough. Okay, we'll leave it like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna taste it to see if they have enough seasoning. If it don't, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Then I'm gonna put the lid on top and let it cook for about 30 to 40 minutes. Because like I said, this is drumstick. This is not like the little cut up chicken that they cut in like 2s or 3s. So the drumstick is required to cook just a little longer. All right, let me taste the sauce. See, it needs a little bit more seasoning. Yeah, it needs a little bit more curry. So I'm gonna add some more. Add some more curry to the thing, to the pot. It's a little bit more curry and a little bit more complete seasoning. Okay. We got a little bit more complete seasoning. Once you're done, don't have the heat too high. Once you cover the top, once you cover it up, just put the heat on, not low, but like medium, and just let it cook. So I add some more curry powder and some complete seasoning. Let me add a little bit more chicken flavor to it. Okay, I think that should be it. Mix this up a little bit. Okay, it's mixed up. So the next step, guys, well, I think that's the last step, is to take your lid and just cover it up. Don't fully, what I do is I don't usually fully cover it up. I usually like a little space so the steam can come out. Because when you fully cover it up, it'll over leak. So I usually like a little space so some steam can come out. So I usually leave it like this, let it cook for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then once it's done, I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, guys, my chicken been cooking. It's been 40 minutes. So let's see what it cut off the stove. So let's see what it looks like now. The curry chicken. It should be nice and tender. It's a lot of steam. So let the steam die down a little bit. Should be the finished product, guys. A lot of steam. Chicken is falling off the bone, as you can see. That's how I like my chicken to fall off the bones. Let's grab this one so you guys can see. Chicken is so tender that it's coming off the bone. That's exactly how you want it. That's why I said it don't really matter about the drumsticks or the little chicken. The little ones that's cut up still won't cook. This what it looks like, the finished product. And next, it's time for me to plate. All right, it's time for me to plate. Usually get a little bit of white rice. White rice, add it to the side. White rice. Let's take the chicken, add it to the plate. All right. Add some carrots to it. Carrots, some onions. This is so delicious, guys. This is so delicious. All right. That's the finished product. Simple way of making curry chicken with some white rice and some onions and some carrot. As you can see, still hot. That's what I mean about the chicken falling off the bone. Let's give it a taste. That's what I mean by that. So delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll also have more videos coming up on how to cook stewed chicken. My way of cooking stewed chicken. It's my way of cooking curry chicken. It's quick and easy. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.